form is language right there. Content is form is language. And the mind is externalized. The language of the octopus is physical, it's externalized. They wear it like a suit, like their meat suit is their mind. And so they change color to adapt to the environment, so it's almost like they're the shapeshifters that we talked about. They're non-dual.
You're constantly breaking down and reshaping yourself.
I know how to answer that question. The way I look at it now, the most quote unquote aesthetic form is formlessness. If you can attribute one sort of intrinsic value or intrinsic property to God, which is just reality, is that it's formless. And because it's formless, it's able to take on any form. So God is a shapeshifter, or a chameleon, or what's it called?
A builder, a bodybuilder.
God is a metaphysical bodybuilder. God is a shapeshifter that doesn't have a shape in of itself. That's what reality is. Like I'm part of that shape-shifting process right now. Like I'm just like God's little bicep within a bicep within a bicep within a bicep within a bicep. Another word for a God or shapeshifter is just consciousness. Consciousness can manifest itself into different forms, thought form, ideas, or physical forms like my body. Or sounds, sensations, emotions.
You saying it's all God?
Physics already proved this. First you have pure nothingness, and then somehow it vibrates because of the creative potentiality of this formlessness. It vibrates into strings, and strings vibrates into atoms, atoms into molecules, molecules into cells, cells into muscles, muscles into the body, and bodies into the brain into the mind, and mind into consciousness, and consciousness into emptiness. So you're back where you started in a reciprocal infinite loop. And God, just like the human organism that just wants to fuck, he just wants to create, fucking creating, fab into itself. It's all the same thing.
I think virtual reality is like the octopus. The human destiny is to become what we think, to have our thoughts become our bodies, and our bodies become our thoughts.
An octopus does not communicate with small mouth noises, even though water is a good medium for acoustic signaling. Rather, the octopus becomes its own linguistic intent. An octopus's communication is direct and always in real time. It can hardly not communicate. There's a certain sense of honesty and authenticity in expression. The inefficient words, the funny faces we make, and the innuendo that we pass on to imbue each other when we communicate are all bypassed without filter. It looks very much like a computer screensaver or the subjectivity of a psychedelic trip, except it's flipped inside out and experienced materially without the subject-object inside-outside dichotomy. Its ability to reflect and transfigure and to become part of the external world is almost like that perfect person with a mind like mirror which simply receives. It never stays the same. It's in total flow state, subtle, empathetic, intimate, powerful, incomprehensible, complex, and strangely beautiful, and completely alien. Watching them move, operate, and quote-unquote think completely destroys our anthropological view of intelligence.
This can't even be compared to something like logic or IQ.
Can you tell me about your experience at the retreat?
I can't get into it right now. There's too much to say, and I already made a couple of videos. I haven't edited it yet.
If I could use one term to describe the last meditation retreat, it would be high weirdness. Because every day there would be at least one what the fuck is this moment, major breakthroughs of insights and ruptures and samadhis and jhanas of various stages. The PR that I broke on the 8th day of my last retreat was smashed in the first couple of days. And there was a near-death experience, a BBC absorption near the 100th hour of meditation that felt almost identical to the 5 MEO trip. And it's even more powerful because I achieved it with a 90 mind, and I opened up a portal. It's the mirror of the ultimate self, but has no reflection. It's like the event horizon to the inner black hole.
The experience was kind of like an octopus, honestly. Because like with Vipassana, we skin your body. Like when you get to a point where you go into this jhana state, so it's almost like it's like a bodybuilding. It's almost like bodybuilding because the body skinning. It's almost like you're painting a picture. You're making a film. You're designing an architecture with like the vibrations of your body. You're just like sort of you're building your own self-driving car. So when the meditation starts to do itself, when you're just sitting inside a self-driving car and it's no colors, you just kind of follow it, So it kind of reminds me of the way the octopus moves.
Meditation took on a new meaning. It's not just a tool to reduce suffering or even to induce awakenings or the discovery of truth. It's the purest form of beauty and creativity. It's an interdisciplinary orgy of dance and light and geometric shape, sculpture. You're using emptiness or infinite intelligence to carve out costumes and self-driving vehicles to explore extraterrestrial VR worlds that are universal but impersonal. The term non-duality takes on a new meaning, a new flavor. It doesn't just imply oneness or unity or wholesomeness. It actually is about diversity and multiplicities and weirdness and paradoxes. There's a reason why non-duality was translated to not two. It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 to infinity. Although that is also the one, because infinity has no opposites.
At times when I felt like I was a scientist, you study the organisms of the deep ocean, but it's like the further you go into the depth of your mind or the edges of your mind, it's like going deeper into like the ocean. You see all these really strange creatures, and you take samples of it and then you try to study it, you try to like manipulate it, you try to like sample it and you go home, you look up on Wikipedia, and then you see like how like those different like meditative genre organisms are like classified, and everyone has kind of like similar experiences no matter where you're from, what time period you are, what race you are. So almost universal. So it's very exotic. The reason why I said my favorite animal was the cheetah, I have to reach Buddhahood to be an octopus.
By Frank Wang, a new fragrance from the Octopi for the awakened being.